pastor of this house, to all the pastors, and to this region. Really, this is a charge. I'm not the speaker of the hour, so this is really just a charge to the young people to give them something to think about, not just in the church, but in their life, in their everyday lives, and really to push this towards the community and how you can impact your community. The theme for this rally is called Building a Better Future for Young People. And when you think about building, you know, there's a process that must take place. You know, you have these different materials, and what you have to do is to build something, it doesn't just appear. To build, it means to construct. It means to form. What you're going to do is take materials and put those things together in order to have this product. Who in here came here by a car? I live in Bettendorf. I did not walk from Bettendorf to Moline. So did you guys come in a car? Yeah. Amen? Okay. So the car, it just did not build itself. What it had to do, you had to take the time, you had to take materials like metal, and you had to take seats, and then you had to have people in order to put those materials together to build that car. You know, really a car that you can open up the door, that you can sit in, you put your key in the ignition, you start it, and hopefully it starts, you know, hopefully it starts, right? So a car that's going to be able to drive, and then also a car that's really going to drive you safely to one place to the next. Yeah. So I really want you to take that process of building and really apply it to your life. And I have some questions for you. What are you building? And how are you building? What type of mindset? And when I say that, what type of mindset, what type of goals, what types of things do you want to do in the future that's going to take you from one place, one transition in your life to the next? But before we can even think about that, you have to have a destination, right? Where are you even going? What does your final destination, what does your future really look like? And it's really important because, as I said in my bio, you know, you're really not going to get to that destination without having a plan, without, you know, really having a focus. You're not going to have direction. I know when I was younger, people would ask me, well, what do you want to do when you get out of high school? What do you want to do when you get out of college? What do you want to be when you grow up? And I'd be like, I don't know. So I was doing a lot of different things that were not for my future, that's not pushing me towards my future. And when you really think about your destination, you have to think about that, because otherwise you're just doing things and just keeping busy and not really going after your future. So once you really figure that out, what you want to do, where you want to go, do you have the ability and the courage to get up and go build? What are you made out of? What types of things are inside of you that's going to help build you and push you to your future? And are you willing to put that in action? We talk about building. There has to be a thought, and then also there's a product. So are you willing, do you have the ability to turn your thought process into a product? To turn your vision into a reality? To go from average to exceptional. And I think about that as a child of God. God did not create us to blend in with this crowd, with this world. He blended. He said that we're a chosen generation, that we're able to do exceedingly and abundantly. You know, anything that we should ask or think of God. So we're going from average to exceptional, going from good to great. Again, building a better future for young people, building a better opportunity, building a better you, building a better future. It is possible. It starts with you. Yes, I'm here to encourage you and let you know you can do anything that you want to do. Yes, you can be anything that you want to be, but I'm going to be honest. It starts with you. If you don't do it, then guess what? It's not going to happen. It's not going to go. Right. But you have to believe it. You have to own your belief, and you really have to own your potential. I'm not, this is a kind of a call and response. You know, I really want you to look at your neighbor. I'm not going to do this too often. But I want you to look at your neighbor and say, I can because I think I can.
I can because I think I can.
I will because I think I will.
I will because I think I will.
I am because I think I am.
I am because I think I am.
Yes. Think about those words.
Think about that, Mike.
I can.
Think about that.
I will.
I will.
I am.
I am.
I can.
I can.
I will. I am.
I am.
When you think about those words can, you know, can means that I'm able to. I have the ability. I have the power. I have the courage to do that. You know, the skill to do that. And when you think about will, that means that I'm going to do it. Because I have the ability, because I have the power and the skill, that means that I'm going to do it. I know sometimes it'd be like, somebody will ask the question, well, can you help me? Well, I can help you. I have the ability to help you, but the question is, will I? So that's the definition of that. And you think about am, that's just how you identify yourself. So my charge for you tonight is really to go from thinking to knowing. Thinking to knowing so that you're able to start doing. I want to kind of readjust and shift your mindset from I think to I know. For the youth organization that I founded about 4 years ago, I graduated from college and I came here, and God really told me that I have a purpose for young people, and so that's something that I really expounded upon. But at that time, it was just a thought, and now it's grown. 4 years later, we do 2 annual conferences, we have an I Am magazine, all these different things, and so for that, I really had to look at that and go from thought to process. And when we think about I Am, this is a movement that I came up with last year. And it's actually the name of our empowerment conference and the magazine that we have. But when you think about this concept, I Am, it's a little I and it's linked to a big A, big M. And when you think about Exodus, and you look at the Bible and you look at Moses, and Moses was going through that transition from the wilderness to help his people. And God came by way of a burning bush. And he said in that conversation, I am. God didn't have to say anything else. He said, I am. Anything you need in God, I am. And so I use that because the I am, the little I, and the big AM, because, you discover who you are through the great I am.
That's right.
And when you say I am, and you say, whatever you say after that, it speaks to your future. I am is the 2 most powerful words because really once you put after that, it's going to shape your reality. So if you're speaking positivity, you're going to have positivity in your life. If you're speaking negative, guess what? You're going to have negativity in your life. So really when you say I am, and you can fill in the blank, whatever it may be, what you say is a reflection of who you are and where you're going.
That's right.
And you may be wondering, Ashley, how can you stand up here and be so confident and say, I can be anything that I want to be? Even if I messed up, I don't see it, but I still want to be great. People in my family aren't doing it, but I still want to be great. How can you really stand up here and say that you're so confident? Yes, I had challenges and didn't always believe this, but I read the greatest book there is in the world, the Holy Bible. In the very first book, Genesis, you didn't have to get too far. You don't have to turn the page, but in the first chapter of Genesis 1:27, it says, so God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. When you think about that, that is so awesome because it's saying that you were created in the image of God. And when you think of the image of something, that means that you're a representation. That means you're a product. Think about my parents. I'm a product of them. I'm in the image of them. So when you think about that, God, I'm not saying we are God, but God is great. So that means that we're great as well. God can do great things. He can do great things through us. So really, really, really think about that. You are a snapshot and a shadow of God. And then also, the Bible tells me in Philippians 4:13. Do you all know it? Let's say it together. I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. Right there, it lets me know all. Not some, not one, not a few, but it says all things through Christ which strengthen me. That's saying God will give me the strength to do anything that I put my mind to. And it says, even when I don't have the strength, even when I feel weak, God is going to be my strength. He makes me perfect, Lord God, with that strength that he has. He's going to be that hope. He's going to be that help. He's going to be that strength. And like we said in I Am, anything that you need, you can find it in him. We see story after story in the Bible that support the fact that people found hope. They found strength. They found every single thing that they needed so they can build a better future for themselves. He took ordinary people, fishermen, he took shepherds, and they did extraordinary things. And it didn't matter. He didn't discriminate. It didn't matter what color you were. It didn't matter how old you were. It didn't matter how young you were. But God used you, and that's what I want to tell the young people. God can use you. It doesn't matter how young you are. He can use you. For instance, let's take David. He was the youngest of all of his brothers. And God was looking for the next king. And David, he was minding his own business in the field, tending to the sheep. And we know the story how it goes. He became the king. He was young, but in his lifetime, he went from shepherd to king. And then we know about how he slayed the giant with a slingshot and a stone. It didn't take any heavy machinery or anything like that, but he used a slingshot and a stone. So there's a saying that says, it always seems impossible until it's done. David, I'm sure he was afraid. I'm sure he's like, there is no way that I can knock down this giant. I mean, there's a lot of different things that he probably felt at that time. But it says that he was a man after God's own heart. And he did what he had to do because he knew that there was a call in his life. He knew that there was a purpose on his life. So again, my question to you is, what giant is standing in the way of doing what you were called and purposed to do? A giant that's standing in between your impossible and I'm possible. Don't ever think that you're going to escape, that you can escape. You can't escape an impossible situation. My song, I love this song. It says, "My God is big. He goes beyond my wildest and highest dreams." Think about that. He can do anything but fail. And when you think about the limits that you put on your life, well, the greatest limitation is God's greatest opportunities to do great things in your life. So I'm gonna bring it fast forward. We talked about David. I'm gonna give you maybe a man we all know in this generation. There was a man. He said that he missed more than 9,000 shots in his career. He lost almost 300 games. And 26 times when they gave him the ball, they trusted him when they threw him the ball, and he missed those shots 26 times. The same man was cut from his high school basketball team. This man, we know him as Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players in this world. What opportunity will you find in your limitations? We talk about we're going to let go and let God, but will you let go and let God? Let go of your can'ts and let God validate your cans.
Yes.
Don't compromise the promise that he has for you. You know, he has a promise. My promise is going to look different from you. Look around. We all different. So God has a different promise for us. So don't compromise that promise that God is giving you. Remember, today, building a better future. I'm charging you to go from I think to I know. And really the distance between I think and I know is our ability to take action.
That's right.
It's your job to take what you know, work with what you have to get where you want to go. You really can't expect to achieve your dreams. For me, I wouldn't be able, and I'm still working on my dreams, but I wouldn't be able to expect to achieve my dreams if I didn't put in hard work. I'm not going to sit up here and tell you that it's not going to take hard work, because it truly is. You know, I've cried, I've stayed up, I've lost a lot of things, friends, money, all that type of thing. But I thought I might even lose my mind, but you know what? I did not quit. And I'm telling you, you cannot quit, because there's a call, there's a purpose on your life. You have to keep going.
Amen.
And there's something I love to sing. Say this: winners never quit.
Winners never quit.
And quitters never win.
Winners never quit.
Winners never quit.
Winners never quit.
And quitters never win.
Winners never win.
In my family, I have 3 younger sisters, and then I have 9 other cousins that are all girls. And so we always used to go to our grandmother's house, and she loves Monopoly, and that's like the longest game ever. So once we play these games with my cousins or whoever it may be, one of my biggest pet peeves is if we're playing a game and it's taking all this time, and then suddenly, because you're mad because I'm winning, you just want to quit? Like, really? Like, how are you going to quit? We played all this time and you just want to give up and want to quit. And I look at that and I look at our lives. Like, we cannot give up anything in our lives. We're not going to be able to accomplish the things that God has given us if we're going to say, you know what, I'm just going to give up. What if God did that? Said, I'm not going to go to the cross, I'm just going to give up. What would we be? Would we even be here? No. So you have to keep going. It's not the end of the world that you fail, because you can get back and try again. God's giving you another opportunity to live and breathe and be able to try again. And I'm almost done, but I was going to just do bits and pieces of this story, but I want to read this story. And it just wraps up everything. And really think about this story and kind of relate it to your life. And it's something this story you might have heard before. It says a little railroad engine was employed about a station yard for such work as it was built for, pulling a few cars on and off the switches. One morning it was waiting for the next call when a long train of freight cars asked a large engine in the roundhouse to take it over the hill. Now this is the great engine talking. He says, "I can't. This is too much a pull for me," says the great engine. And mind you, he was built for hard work. Then the train asked another engine and another, only to hear excuses after excuses and be refused. In desperation, the train asked the little switch engine to draw it up the grade and down on the other side. Now this is a little engine. He says, "I think I can." He puffed the little locomotive and put itself in front of the great heavy train. As it went up on the little engine, he kept bravely puffing faster and faster. "I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can." And as it neared the top of the grade, which had so discouraged the larger engines, it went more slowly. But still, it kept saying, I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. It reached the top by drawing on bravery, and then went on down the grade, congratulating itself by saying, I thought I could. I thought I could. So really, look at that story. Look at your life. It's your time. It's time for you to tuck away all those excuses. Time to believe in yourself. We talked about this. You have to believe yourself, and you have to own that belief. Take ownership of your potential and who God has truly called you to be. It's time for you to work hard. It's never going to come easy. So know that. You're going to cry. You're going to fail maybe a couple times. But you have to work hard for where you want to go. Also, we're talking about building. Time to take everything that has gotten you to this very point and push forward. Take all of your victories and your losses. Take all of your successes and your failures. And like you said, it takes a lot of material to build something, especially something great. It's going to take a while, so use that as material to build. Again, building a better future, building a better opportunity, building a better you, building a better future. I'm here to tell you, fall in love with your process of building, because guess what? It's the vehicle necessary to take you from what was, talking about the past, to what is, talking about the present, to what is to come. So building is the vehicle to take you from the past, to the present, and to the future. I'm here to tell you, know who you are. Know who God has called you to be, and knows who you are. We're all children of God. You can be great. So know who you are, know whose you are, and allow God to do the rest. And if you don't take anything else from this, remember, I can, I will, I am. I can, I will, I am. Thank you.